First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakmadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. Right, in this particular video, I want to touch on cannibalism, because cannibalism is coming back in a very big way during this upcoming famine. Now, I was watching this Alex Jones show, and about the 21-minute mark, he starts talking about cannibalism. Something that he said back in 2020 about eating his neighbors. And he just admits it. He says, you know what, I probably would eat human meat. And he says, well, I think you would too. And then he says some very interesting things after this. And I also want to tell a story about me on the plantation asking people, will they eat human meat if they were in a dire situation? And what he says is backed up because I've done the poll myself on the plantation. You know, so cannibalism is coming back in a very big way, and cannibalism is eating human beings. All right, eating of the same species. All right, you have a lot of people that's around you that you work with, that's in your family, that'll eat you. That's the reality of it. I know it sounds like, kind of like, what the fuck, but yeah. All right, so let's hop inside some of these scriptures, and then we're gonna play this video. Let's start with Ezekiel 14:13, and we read, "Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then I will stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast." Right. So you see all the abomination that's happening. 2/3 out there, 2/3 of Israel. Women shaking their stinking ass, fucking who they want. These women riding the cock carousel. All right, sucking and fucking. Niggas trying to fuck on your girl. As long as they got they weed and they henny and they two-step, it's fuck the Most High. That's how they coming. All right, well, you could be like that. It's your choice. All right, really, it's really not your choice, but y'all get what I'm saying. But you can be like that because the Lord said what? He's going to stretch out his hand and break the staff of bread. And that means what? Send a famine upon the land. All right? And in famines, people are going to be howling out for vexation of spirit. And why would they be howling out for vexation of spirit? First, they're going to be hungry. And second, they're going to know that the Israelites, the prophets, were out there on the highways and byways warning them. We were on the internet warning them. Shit, we and your family face to face with you warning you. And you decided to what? Let the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai fall on deaf ears. So if you get caught up in a famine, hey, that's on you. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, what? It's better to die by the sword than of the famine. You know why? Because your body starts to eat itself from the inside out. You start losing your vision. You start being very weak. Your body cannibalizes itself. All right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 6:22, because there's going to be a time where you're going to go in the grocery stores and there's not going to be anything there. And as a matter of fact, while we're doing that, let's get Joel. That was 1:17 through 20, but we're going to get this one first. All right. The 2nd Ezra 6:22, when we read, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown." And where do you sow seeds at? This is talking about a farm. All right. It's going to appear what? Unsown, which means there's not going to be any crops there. And then Joel tells you that the animals ain't going to be there. The animals are going to die too. So if there's going to be no crops, all right, it's not going to be sown, and there's not going to be no animals, which we're going to get, what's going to happen? Well, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So it's going to be a time where you're going to go inside of these grocery stores, full storehouses, your Sam's Club, your Costco's, your BJ's, shit, your super Walmarts, even down to the little stores like Dollar General, Save a Lot, Shop and Save, etc., etc. All of them are going to be found what? Empty. All right. And that's how cannibalism is going to come back, because people are going to have no choice but to eat human meat. All right. So it's F the Most High right now. Well, you'll be snacking on a child in a minute. All right. Now let's get Joel 1 and 17 and 20 to prove that what? It's not going to be any animals on these farms either. So that's why the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. This is Joel chapter 1:17 to 20. The seed is rotting under their clods. The garners are laid desolate. The barns are broken down, for the corn is withered, giving you a vision on how these farms are going to look. How do the beasts groan? The herds of cattle are perplexed, because they have no pastures. And perplexed means confused, baffled, bewildered. And why are they confused? Because they have no pasture. Yeah, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. Right. The farm animals are going to be dead. O Yahweh, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath burned all the trees of the field. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of water are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. Right. So these farms in the future, and plus I was looking at Elder Manak the Zakba's channel, and I think this was his like first channel, South Carolina SC, where he had the Israelite man flying, and the scripture came up, and they were talking about, the wildfires that's around. And these wildfires are actually burning farms up, burning all the crops, killing horses, killing cows, killing animals on it, man. Burning up all the wildlife. So the famine going to hit these animals too, because the Lord said what? He going to cut off man and beast from it. And these animals, they feed off of what? Plant life. They feed off the plants and shit. And the Lord said what? For the fire have devoured the pastures of the wilderness. All right. So it's going to get gruesome. So that's just to back up 2 Ezra 6:22 when it talks about what? The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. All right. And that right there is going to set in cannibalism. Cannibalism is coming back in a very big way. All right. Listen to the story that I'm going to tell you after I get this script and play this video. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and 20. All right. Now this is the future of people that's going to be in this famine. All right. That the Lord is not fucking with. And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry. And he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Right, that's going to happen. He's going to take his right hand, and he's going to grab his left wrist, however he going to grab his right arm or whatever, and he going to eat that motherfucker, man. He'll take a bite out of it, cut a piece off or whatever. And guess what? It's going to hurt. It's going to be very painful. And he's still not going to be satisfied. All right? So, man, we're trying to persuade you. And persuade you is basically threaten you, man. Serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is a very terrible power. All right, let's hop inside of this video. And I'm going to tell the story. And we're going to call it a wrap. All right? Now, listen closely to what he says. Oh, Shalakia. Let me turn it down a little bit. Turn it about like 20. All right.
And that's why evil wants to cut the resources off, because they want to force you into a position in a barbarous, murderous, evil world where you've got to do bad things just to feed your family. And I'm not going to lie to people, and I didn't last year when that rant went viral and got 50 million views or whatever about eating my neighbors, which was a modest proposal 2.0 from Jonathan Swift about if things really did break down the way the globalists want, I probably would actually eat people. And I think you would too. 90+% of people become cannibals. 10% either get eaten or commit suicide. And then the cannibals feed on each other. Now, I'm being honest with you about that. I don't want to be forced into that position because I would just starve to death. But I look at my 4-year-old daughter. Well, she's got to eat. And I don't say this to be dramatic. I don't say this to freak people out. This is the real world we're going into with 7.5 billion people, and the globalists turning off the world economy Because if they get their full collapse they want, if they think they can get away with collapsing it, and then they think they can get away with posing as the saviors when they are the conductors, when they are the masters, when they are the engineers of this, they will take it all the way.
Right, so there you have it. You heard what he said? He said 90% of the people will become cannibals, and the 10% will either kill themselves or get eaten by the cannibals. And then the cannibals will start cannibalizing themselves. And, everybody's dead, I guess. Well, there's one thing that he didn't take into account. The people, the elect, all right, that's chosen by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're going to eat, and we're not going to eat human flesh. The Lord ain't going to have a crow drop some human Lego off of some human meat off to you. All right? The Lord is going to feed a brother. The Lord's going to feed sisters, man. And, let's put it like this, too, because I said that kind of, weird. So I'm going to say it like this. You sisters out there, you going to be with a man. All right? In that time. You're going to be with a man. So don't think you can say F all the men and you're going to ride out Jacob's trouble on some Hollywood shit and then get beamed up in a chariot saying fuck men. That's not how it's going to work. And plus, and when this time hits, you're not going to be thinking on independent and shit how you think right now. All right? So the wise thing is just to get a man right now. You will be with a man. All right? But anyway, hey, this time's coming up. You heard Alex Jones what he said. He said this is the reality of where we're headed. All right? We knew that already. Because thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now, I was on a plantation, and I was asking the employees that if there was a famine, and I broke down what a famine was to them, no food, no water. You saw no food and water in sight. You've been starving for about like 2 to 3 weeks. You've been hitting a little bit of water there, a little bit of little nibbles, probably like a few kernels or whatever that you found that you chewed on or whatever. Your stomach is touching your back, but you stumbled across some human meat. Would you eat it? Would you partake in that human meat? 90+% of it was only like one person this particular day that said, nah, they're not eating the human meat. But 90+% of everybody said, hell yeah. And they was proud of it. One dude was like, shit, I'm smashing. He said, yo, I'm smashing. What the fuck? One dude broke it down. He said, yo, I'm killing my woman. She weighs 120, so if I break it down and skin her real good, I'm looking about maybe 80 pounds of meat. Yeah, he was breaking that shit down. God damn. Dude, mom said, because he said he went home and asked his mom. Came back like, oh, I asked my. He said, yeah, my mom said she'll body me and put me on some ice. And why that's like a joking thing, but no, that's dead ass real. He just cited some of the numbers, man. 90% of the people what? Turn cannibal. Hey man, so that move that's seen in the road, hey, that's reality. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, so with that, I'm gonna say I hope it was edifying and shalom on to the next one.